studios on the Daytona State College East Campus.
Welcome. I'm Karen Stotterman, your host for Gardner's Hotline. Tonight's show is about tropical water gardens. Have you always liked the soothing sound of running water? Today's guest will answer all of your questions on tropical water gardens. They are great alternatives in your landscape. By the time you see some of these beautiful gardens, you'll be tempted to add one to your yard. This is a live call-in show. Please call me at 1-800-901-9238. My guest tonight is Kathy Smith. She's a resident of Central Florida and owns her own successful water garden business. Thanks for being here, Kathy.
Well, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Now, Kathy, what are some of the advantages of water gardens?
Well, the advantages are that I don't have to water my plants. I don't have to mow the yard, mow the grass. It has a very calming, soothing, relaxing effect, listening to the waterfalls.
Just all over relaxation?
All over relaxation. It's great to unwind after a hectic day and just watch the fish swimming around in the water and see the lilies blooming and all the beautiful plants.
Now, is this expensive?
Well, not really. A well-designed water feature would have a biofalls, a biofilter, mechanical filtration, a pump, rocks and gravel, plants and fish, and a balanced ecosystem. And it would be very similar to installing a hot tub.
Now, is it kid-friendly?
It's very kid-friendly. The kids love to watch the fish and play with the fish, and I could pick up the fish in my ponds and pose for pictures with them. And the kids love it to be able to watch the tadpoles turn into frogs.
Now, what about pet-friendly?
The pets love it too. I have a black lab that just the other day discovered that we have fish in the pond, and we've had ponds for 2.5 years, and he just discovered the fish, and he loves them.
Now, is it a lot of maintenance?
Well, a poorly designed water feature can be an eyesore and a very maintenance headache, but a well-designed ecosystem pond is very low maintenance.
Huh. Now, how often do they have to be cleaned?
Well, it would depend on how many trees are around your water garden, when the leaves are falling. When in the fall or when the leaves are falling, you may have to clean out your debris basket and your skimmer, maybe daily. But in the summer, weekly, monthly, just depends on how much debris would be falling into the pond.
Well, you know, that's a small pond, but let's see how Disney decorates their water. Hi, guys.
Thanks, Karen. Today we're here at Disney, and we're going to show you how we do our floating gardens out here at Disney World. We start out with a container that's styrofoam made, and we have it all painted up nice to keep the water from seeping in. We pre-cut our capillary mats so that it'll be able to wick up the water for us.
You put this thing first, and you're looking where the hole is, and this way you poke a little bit. Okay, poke it down. You go to the other side, poke it down, and then pull it down. Fix it a little bit. That's why you got to put your tail. This piece in the middle is this long one gonna drop on the water. The other one gonna drop on the water. This in the middle gonna keep all the coating wet for your soil and for your plant. Okay, now you get out here. You're looking for your soil.
And we use a Fafford 52 mix. You can pick this up from a local vendor.
Okay, you gotta pour it around. Okay, that be enough to plant right here. And next thing you do, put fertilizer. Got a handful. Okay.
Planting some orange impatiens today. Take them. Kind of
The
break up.
best thing, you gotta break the bottom.
Break up the bottom.
Start on the edge.
Okay, when you get finished, you have to make sure you water these in real well. So we'll take this and we'll water it in. And what happens is the capillary mat on the bottom, once it gets wet, it'll stay wet. And once you put these gardens into the pond or where you are going to have them floating around, they'll start to wick up the water from the bottom and keep that capillary mat wet, and it'll keep your plants nice and moist. So you really don't have to be concerned about watering your plants after that.
This is the IV. We use this floater around when it's going to Christmas. That's when we're going to preparation for the Christmas right now. This is the a sprouter plant. We use it and the floater, and this is fertilize we use on the floater. This is the impatient. We put them in there. Now is the good time right now to plant the impatient around this floater, and around the Christmas we're going to plant another plant, like example poinsettia. We're going to plant another plant around the Christmas. Now back to it, Karen.
Good job, guys. These are great ideas, even for the small homeowner. We're ready for your calls. Call us with your gardening questions at 1-800-901-9238. It sounds like we might have a call right now. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, my name is Ruffle and I live in Summerfield.
Hi, go ahead with your question.
Yes. I have a fence that I would like to have a plant grow quickly to cover the fence so no one can see through the fence.
Well, are you looking for something flowering? Let's see. I would probably suggest perhaps some jasmine. Jasmines are a great one.
Jasmine would be a great fast grower.
Yes, and if it's full sun, perhaps some bougainvillea. That might do very well. Well, what are some plants that grow well in this type of environment?
Well, this is a chorus grass. It's a short plant. It gives you nice color.
Oh, that's pretty.
This is another short growing plant. This is corkscrew rush. It's one of my favorites, just with this just unusual corkscrew effect.
Right. And what do we have? How about right here? What is this?
This one is a dwarf Egyptian papyrus. It grows to about 2.5 feet tall and has these nice poofy tops on it. It gives you lots of nice texture, nice green plant.
Now we have this broad-leafed one.
Now this is a water lily. This is going to sit down in the bottom of the pond, and it has the lily pads that come up. And then this particular one is a night blooming water lily that shoots the blossoms up that only blooms at night.
Now, what colors do these have?
The night blooming water lilies are pink, red, and white. This one is a pink one. The day blooming water lilies come in yellow, pinks, purple, blue, and peach colored.
Those are nice. Now we have something over here, this dark burgundy color.
This is a taro. It's a black magic taro, and it gives you some nice color, height to your pond next to the chorus grass. Gives you great texture, color differences.
Those are lovely. Now, how would we fertilize these plants?
Well, there are two ways to fertilize the plants. You can either use a tablet fertilizer, and you just stick a hole into the root of the plant and push the tablet down into it and cover it up. I like to use a time-release fertilizer that lasts 6 months. And with this one, it's a little fertilizer that looks like BBs. It's plastic coated. And what I do, since you'll be putting it down into the water, I like to take a piece of paper towel and I put about a tablespoon or so of fertilizer in the paper towel, roll it up, And again, stick the hole down into the root of the plant and push your paper towel with the fertilizer down into it and cover it all up with the dirt and the rocks and gravel, and then that way your plant is fertilized for 6 months.
That's wonderful. Kathy, we have another caller. Go ahead, caller.
Your plant is fertilized for 6 months.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Bob. I'm trying to grow a plant called Clivia, C-L-I-V-I-A. Has foliage similar to an Amarillo lily. Been trying this for 5 years, and I'm having no luck. If I put them in the house and leave them alone at a window, they survive, but that's it. They don't bloom or drastically improve the foliage or anything. And if I fertilize, the stems rot, like the leaves will rot and get slimy, and I'll go to toss them away, but there'll be new roots coming out on the base of it. So I don't throw it away. I give it another try, and I don't know what to do.
Well, probably one thing I would do is pull it out probably in some, at least morning sun, take it outside in some morning sun, but not the afternoon sun. And what I'd probably do is I would reduce my fertilizer and give it a high middle number on a fertilizer. I think they would call those bloom boosters that you can find at your box stores. And that will probably help you. That prevents your flower from producing leaves and not allow it to produce flowers and not so much green foliage. Now, some examples of grasses and plants and trees and floating plants, these are all great ideas. But what are your favorites?
Well, my favorite is, well, the corkscrew rush, but yet the imperial taro is just a beautiful, beautiful color in this leaf. This one.
Here's another interesting
one. And then I really like the canna lilies. This one is a striped beauty, and it is going to have a yellow blossom. I like this because of the flowers, and cannas are yellow flowers, orange, almost a red flower.
Now, we have another phone call. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, this is Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi. I have a saga palm tree, and it's absolutely gorgeous, but the center of it has actually, it's not blooming like it's supposed to be, and the leaves that are actually coming out, they're twisted. Is there some way I can possibly get that to bloom out?
Well, what you'll have to do, Julie, is probably take it's hard to kind of see what you're describing there. What you might want to do is take a digital photo of that and send that to your local extension agent in your county. And from there, they'll be able to help you further decide if it's a nutrient deficiency or if perhaps something else is going on, perhaps a mutation of some sort. Kathy, how do you propagate these kinds of plants?
Well, with most of the aquatic plants, they grow, they clump, or they send out new plants through runners. The taro has all these new little babies coming out, and if you simply pull them out with the roots, you can plant them in a different place in your pond or put it in a pot to grow it out. Some plants, like the acorus grass, is a clumping plant. So if you just simply divide it and get enough roots on it, you can start a new plant. The canna lilies are pretty much the same way. They'll shoot up new babies and you can pull them out. Now, with the water lilies, some water lilies are viviparous, which means that the lily pad actually grows a new baby off of the lily. And then, so new lilies can be grown that way.
Wow. Well, we have another caller. Go ahead, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Beth, and I live in DeLand, and I have a question for Kathy. I was wondering how you keep mosquitoes from breeding in your pond if you don't have fish in it.
Good question.
Well, in a pond, you should have moving water, and the mosquitoes are typically just a problem with the stagnant water. So you shouldn't have too much of a problem. If your water is moving, especially if you have a skimmer, then the larvae of the mosquitoes would just get sucked into the skimmer.
Boy, that's a great reason to have a waterfall or perhaps a lidded fountain. Now, Kathy, those might be pests, mosquitoes, but what do you do to take care of the larger predators? How do you control those?
Well, with the predators, I heard a great analogy with the predators compared to our house. You know, we lock our house, we put locks on our doors, locks on our windows, install a security system, but if somebody wants to steal our valuables, they're still going to steal our valuables. So we try to take every precaution in our ponds to keep the predators away, like the heron. We have the alligator that floats in the pond, looks very real floating in the pond, and we hope that the alligator might scare the heron away. We use these little plastic fish we put fishing line on them and weight them down so they're just below the water surface. And if the heron sees it, it thinks it's an easy prey or easy target. It would try to get it, and the fish in the pond would be able to scatter away. We have the scarecrow, which is you hook it up to a garden hose. It's a motion-activated sprinkler, and whenever it detects that something is in the pond, it will spray a burst of water, which can be a problem if you forget to turn the switch off here, because it can also spray you. And then we have the plastic heron that it's a beautiful to be as just garden art, but it's also to help keep the heron away. However, the heron is very smart, so you have to move your fake heron daily, or the real heron realizes it's not real.
Yeah. Well, we have a phone call. Go ahead, caller. Hello, caller. Well, it looks like our caller could have been confused. Well, Kathy, when you have these herons there, are they always tricked, or do sometimes we can trick them back? Can you put a netting over the pond?
Well, yes. There's pond netting that if the heron is just determined it's going to eat the fish, there's pond netting that you simply just place over top of the pond. You pretty much can't even tell it's there, which serves as another great purpose, that it would catch the leaves and would keep debris out of your pond when the leaves are falling.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we got another phone call. Hello, caller. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, caller.
Hi, I was wondering, I need some advice on a type of tree that I can plant out back that is something that might lose leaves during the winter time, that would look more like an up north type of tree. I planted 2 palms last year, like foxtail palms, and they froze. And I'm getting rid of those, and I'm going to do like a fireplace pit and a little sitting area, and I want a tree that doesn't have too many roots, that is going to be more like an up north type tree that loses leaves and stuff like that, more seasonal. But I want something that lives in Orlando, Florida.
Right. Well, a good example of that probably would be a redbud tree, which would give you your spring flowers, and it does defoliate. But in Florida, however, we don't have a true defoliation, so to speak. It will be green, but eventually the leaves will fall off, and you'll have pretty pink buds in the spring. And another one could perhaps be a sweet gum. They will drop their leaves, but it'll give you those lovely fall colors. So in Florida, we kind of make our adaptations with that. Well, we have another phone call. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller. I want to remind you again of our phone number for those of you that are trying to get through. It's 1-800-901-9238. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, my name is Regis from Citra.
Hi, Regis. Go ahead.
I'm calling about my lawn. I live in Citra, and I have a St. Augustine grass lawn. And with the dry season coming, I'm concerned about the frequency of watering during the winter season. What would be the suggestion as to the frequency of watering during the dry season?
Well, Regis, in Florida, we don't need any irrigation because your grass will go dormant. So what's easy is shut your irrigation off. Your grass will turn a slight brown color, but the grass is not growing actively. That's its quiet stage. It won't grow again until the weather gets warmer again in early spring. So everybody shut your irrigations off and just let nature take its course. Well, Kathy, we've got some great examples here on how to keep pests away. But do you really have any problems with your other kind of animals, or is it very hazardous to have ponds outside? Does anybody slip around the area?
Well, Not usually. I mean, a pond that is installed in the proper way, the rocks are going to be placed around the pond so that they're very firmly placed there. It makes it safe to enjoy.
Do they freeze?
We don't have the problem with freezing, but if the pond was in an area where it froze, the pond will never freeze the whole way to the bottom. The fish are safe. They hibernate in the bottom of the pond, and if the surface froze over, all you have to do is leave a hole in the ice so that gases can escape and the oxygen can get in.
Wow. We have another call. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Yes, hi. My name's Walt.
Hi,
yes,
Walt.
hello.
Go ahead, Walt.
Yes, hi. I've got a question. I have a 10-year-old lychee tree. Yes, are you there?
Yes, we're here. Go ahead.
10-year-old lychee tree that's suffering from bark scale.
Okay. One good idea for that is to apply a wonderful horticultural oil you can buy at your at an organic section in any of your box stores. And you treat this organic oil, it's what we call a neem oil, N-E-E-M. And you apply it to the bark of your tree, and you have to read the directions in the back of the container and follow that very carefully. And that is a safe way to treat them. And this oil does land on the backs of these and suffocates those scales. But it's not an easy fix. You're going to have to stay working at it. And that's one of those things that you kind of have to let Mother Nature take its course. Eventually, over time, there are predators that will come and feast on them. So try to put the pesticides away and do the organic way and let the oils take care of that. We have another caller. Go ahead, caller. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Well, the caller seems to be lost right now. But we have some, I have also other questions. Besides actually propagating these, do you have to really pull off a lot of the dead leaves? Do they shed that much?
Well, they do, and in the process of the plant, and most aquatics are that way, they will, as they grow, and the leaves will turn brown, or like this one, and you just simply cut them off and prune them back. With the lilies, they will send up a new lily pad, and after 3 or 4 days, the old lily will turn yellow and brown and fall to the bottom. And I like to keep my ponds as clean as possible, and so I like to get in maybe every month or every 2 months and just trim the dead lilies or the dead leaves off so that all that debris isn't in the pond.
Wow, that's not so bad. We do have a picture of a predator that does like visiting ponds. Let's take a look at that right now. There he is.
Yeah, he was a beautiful bird, and unfortunately he got a few of my fish before I put the net over the pond. And in that picture, the net is actually over the pond. That's the nice thing about pond netting, is that you still get to enjoy your pond, keep the heron away, protect the fish, and enjoy your pond.
And that's not a plastic heron there,
no,
folks. That's the real thing.
That's the real one.
Go ahead and give us a call. Again, we're at 1-800-901-9238. I think we have another caller on the line. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead with your call.
I've got a problem with my okra in my vegetable garden. The ants are getting on it, and they're also getting on my peppers. The little small ants, about 100 of them are on each part of the okras. I was wondering how I could get rid of those.
Boy, ants are a tough one. I would check your foliage for small little sucking insects, generally aphids. Look very closely at the leaves. Usually with aphids, ants will come and will eat the deposits from that of a feeding aphid. So get down into the garden at the level of where the plant is and look for these sucking insects. If this is the problem, a good thing to do is use a mild horticultural soap and apply it very carefully. And read the back of the label, once again, of the horticultural soap, and spray it gently. And over time, you're going to have to stay on this as well. And this is a safe way of doing that because you're going to consume these vegetables. You'll have to stay on it, keep spraying it, and gently, eventually the aphids will leave or be perturbed enough where the ants will finally leave. When you take the food away, the ants will go away. Do we have another caller on the line? Go ahead, caller. Hello, caller. Well, I think the...
Yes, hello.
Hello, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, hi. I'm Chris calling from Melbourne, Florida.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead with your call.
And okay, I got you. Anyways, I bought a place, a real low...
I think we lost Chris. We'll take another call. Go ahead, caller. Do we have another call on the line? Hello, caller. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Max from DeBerry. I was wondering about ponds, especially when you have fishes and in the summertime it rains a lot. How do you control the pH of the water, especially, like I said, in the summer when it rains, and to keep, the fishes alive?
Right. Well, you usually don't have to worry about the pH. The rainwater can cause an algae bloom, so you may have a little bit of problems like with that. We create an ecosystem pond, and so with a balanced ecosystem, everything pretty much takes care of itself. So, I don't even check the pH in my pond to worry about it for the fish.
That's a good way. Did you have any trouble during bad adverse hurricane weather? Do people have to take care special with their gardens?
No, not really. An ecosystem pond, if it's well balanced, takes care of itself, and you pretty much get a natural water change when you have the rain. It's just that sometimes the algae can be a problem.
What kind of trees do you recommend to put around your pond so they don't drop or fall inside your ponds?
Well, my favorites are the tropicals. I love the Robolini palms, bird of paradise. I like to have, that'll give me some of the height with the tall bird of paradise. I like to plant croton and Hawaiian tie so that I can have color, but I like the tropical look.
Oh, those all sound beautiful. Well, we are out of time, and I'd like to thank my guest, Kathy, and I'd like to thank all of you for joining us here tonight about the subject of water gardens. If you are not able to get your questions answered, then email me at channel 15 at daytonastate.edu. Keep in mind that Florida gardening is not always a bad thing. Florida gardening with water is not a bad thing. See you soon.
To purchase a copy of the Channel 15 original production you just watched for $18 including shipping and handling, call 1-888-982-9238. Major credit cards are accepted, or send your check for $18 made payable to WCEU P.O. Box 9245, Daytona Beach, Florida 32120-9245. Please note the title of the program and broadcast air date in your correspondence.